So I heard you don't like getting down and dirty in the bedroom. You don't like the aspect of your body in your birthday suits, and that's making it difficult for you to find a partner of sorts. Everybody is so obsessed with the idea of laying betwixt the sheets. Some people just go out of their way to do it as many times as possible. Polyamory, hypersexuality, going to and fro, and you yourself are confused about why you can't find somebody to love you, so you decide to stay with your cat. You have animals, you're fine, but you realize the dial tone of an animal that can't really speak to you is actually droning, so you put yourself out there. You're on Hinge, you're on Bumble, you're on Grindr, you're on Tinder, and you're doing your best to say, you know what, I can just find somebody that wants to be with somebody that's asexual. I know there's people out there that are okay with not doing that. I don't find those tasks really fun, but nobody's there for you. And you now are at the mercy of everybody on the planet. So maybe if you get with another asexual person, oh, they're lying about being asexual to get with you? Well, that sucks, doesn't it? I was younger when I discovered a big issue that I had with my entire soul. I had assumed that I could only find love in the aspect of other people. I thought that I couldn't find self-love. So I looked for in other people. What I discovered about other people is that they really like big honkers. They like the boom posterior. They enjoy that. They like the big badonkadonk. They enjoy that deeply. And they love that more than anything on this planet. It's sold. They would see Megan Fox. They would see Jennifer Lopez. They would see these women all to and fro. Nicki Minaj shaking her boinky boink. Going crazy with it. Going absolutely sicko mode on those music videos. Lil Wayne showing off these women in the clubs. And the strip club was so amazing. I remember when I was younger and I was hanging out with my friend and he said, how do you feel about her? And I said, I don't know her. And he said, nah, about her body. And I said, I feel like she has issues wiping. Her butt is big. And he said, don't think about that. Think about the other things about it. I said, what? I was 13. I didn't have the awakening that everybody else had. I had lost my virginity at 8 years old, and I understood how bodies worked. I knew how things operated. I knew what was going on. I didn't really care about the idea of promiscuity that deeply. I didn't care about it at all. I had assumed that something was mentally wrong with me. I had assumed that there was some lapse in my judgment because everybody would see these girls with these large chests and big badonkadonks, and they'd over-sexualize these women. And they would say, oh man, if I could get with her. And I say, what's so good about her? I didn't know. Is she articulate? Is she linguistic? I had no idea what was going on. And then I had devised that maybe I'm demisexual. Now, if you don't know what demisexual is, I'm going to explain all the terms as I explain them. Demisexual is when you're only attracted to somebody promiscuously or intimately, or only can get aroused by somebody if you know about them romantically. And that's not true at all for me. As a matter of fact, that wasn't even close to true. It was depressing. It didn't matter how deeply or intimately I knew somebody. I didn't really care for the aspect of seeing them in a bedroom. I had wished there was a deeper task that I could do with somebody outside of that. Outside of being on our birthday shoots to and fro in the buff, I was hoping there would be something more that we could do besides that. Maybe a dinner, or a picnic, or maybe reading a book together, or maybe just enjoying each other's presence. That would be more. But it wasn't enough for other people. They felt like the biggest, deepest form of intimacy was being completely unclothed and enjoying each other's essence. And to that I say, I understand. It's a very natural human instinct to be immediately aroused by seeing posteriors and things of that nature. So I consumed copious amounts of porn, just copious amounts of it. I saw a bunch of it. As a matter of fact, to the point where I became an addict about it. I began to just, hit my Rocky in the meat freezer action, beating my legless lizard just to get the feeling out of it. I thought that would get me garnered by a bunch of people. I thought that, in essence, would make me feel better. And so I stopped craving intimacy with people and just only sought it online to get the feeling out of my system. And that is where I learned most things. I had slept with over 100 people. Men, women, all these people. I slept with a lot of them. By the age of 16. So many people. All so they would view me as more. All so they would view me as not somebody that was asexual. I was so scared of admitting this to people that I didn't find them physically attractive. I really didn't. I found them attractive in other ways. I enjoyed the fact that they rambled about dinosaurs. I enjoyed how passionately Angelica was deeply into Legos. I enjoyed how Rodney deeply loved Halo 2 and how he never got mad when he played the game. That kind of patience was alluring to me, and it got me excited. I never would get aroused by aspects of physical intimacy. I would only get aroused by aspects of what they taught me about themselves. And that had been on for a while. People had told me that I was mature because of it, but that's not the case. That's not the case at all. As a matter of fact, it was something different. It was the fact that this didn't entertain me. I didn't even enjoy the feeling afterwards. The feeling made me feel gross. As soon as the release came from my phallic member, I felt gross because of it. I didn't want that. I didn't like the feeling afterwards. I barely liked the feeling of it happening. And that serotonin release was so instant gratification. It was so instant that it lasted over a course of my body. I got that same stimulus from working out. That's the same exact stimulus. I really didn't understand what people were doing. I didn't grasp it. And so I became a deviant of sorts, sexually, of course. I became somebody that was an icon about it. People looked to me for how to talk to men, how to talk to women, how to talk to people in general. Because I was so charismatic, I was so good with my speech and my flow, people began to want me for me. And I loved that. And I was so happy about that. They didn't care if I was short. I'm 5'6", by the way. They didn't care if my hair was crazy. They didn't care if my teeth were all jarbled and messed up, because my teeth look kind of weird. I'm not going to lie to you. They look a little bit strange. I'm never going to be one of those guys that uses Invisalign or things of that variety. I love my teeth. I like Max Goof. I'm really happy about that. So I had discovered there was an asexual dilemma with the world. You may not know what it is to be asexual. You may not understand what it's like to not enjoy these acts, to not enjoy it. But I want you to imagine this. Imagine the entire world enjoyed ketchup, and you deeply, deeply, deeply were allergic to ketchup. And so you ate ketchup on your fries, on your hamburgers, on your fish, on your tilapia. You ate it all the time, and you would grimace through it, and you would put that EpiPen in your leg every time you ate something. And you had to continually keep using EpiPens. And it was difficult, but you were used to it. To the point where you began to almost cannibalize the fact of love from people. You began to think to yourself, man, I gotta keep eating ketchup my entire life. My entire life in order for people to even talk to me. In order for me to get sustenance. And that is what it's like to be asexual, I feel. To be allergic to the aspect of it. It is not fun. Now, a lot of people look at me and hear how I talk about tails, how I talk about things, how I actively put myself in polycules. So, this is going to sound psychotic and a little bit narcissistic. I apologize in advance. I simply have the act of bedroom gipplegomp by virtue of it makes me feel powerful, and I know that they will enjoy it afterwards. They will like me more as a person. It's a people pleaser mentality. I enjoy oral and giving it to people. I don't like receiving it. Not really one of my favorite things. I've gotten really good at it. I learned from lesbians. That's the best way to learn how to do it. Watch amateur lesbians. That's the best way to do it. On the hub, best way to do it. Now, you people in Florida, I think it's banned, so good luck on you. Maybe you go to a different site. Maybe X videos. No idea. There is a problem with the way people operate. There's a problem with my brain. I know it is, and I've discovered it so intimately and deeply, and I don't know what to do with it anymore. I have no idea how to feel about it. I have no clue if I'm correct, if I'm incorrect, if people will even love me or respect me. I have no clue at all. But I found a community of people that are just like me. They don't require it. They don't need it. They don't look for it in every turn, in every event. They just want to get out of their system and just want to be around a person. Now, I've noticed, and you, if you're asexual, you've probably been through this as well, that finding a partner is the most difficult thing to do when you have this asexual dilemma. Let's talk about finding a partner. So, you finally found somebody. They're amazing. They're great. You love how they speak. You love how they are. You enjoy the aspects about them. They play D&D. They watch football on Sundays. They crochet. Oh my goodness, they're a perfect person. All your special little interests, all your hyper interests, all your hyper fixations, one might say, are actively getting met. They're ticking off all the boxes, and they say we should hang out. So you hang out, and it's amazing. They don't try anything. Oh, it's really good. Then they kiss you on the neck, and you love kissing. It's fine. It's great. You enjoy the aspect of forehead kisses. You like hand holding. And then they say, we should take this to the bedroom. You dread it a little bit. But you don't want to lose this person. And you know deep in your mind, you have to set a boundary. So with everybody else, you didn't. But with this one person, you finally decided, you know what? I got to tell you something. You probably didn't read my Hinge profile, but I'm asexual. He looks at you and says, predator? And you say, no, I'm not. No, not a predator. Big difference. I don't like this. I like kissing. We can handhold. I like watching movies. We can bake together. I enjoy being next to you, but I don't want to go into the bedroom. And you're dreading what they're going to say. And they say, okay, that's fine by me. And you think to yourself, oh my God, this could be the one. This could be the one. Oh my goodness, this guy, I can hear the wedding bells ringing. Could it be? Is this the person? And so you decide to date them. A month in, you're excited. You haven't done anything promiscuous. And they're getting progressively angrier. And you're confused. And they bring it up in every argument. Well, you don't even do anything in the bedroom. And you say, I told you that. You decided to be with me. You like me for my body, but I'm telling you deeply that I don't do that. And they say, you know what? Okay. And they leave. And they lay with somebody else. They sleep with someone else. And you're confused. Why would you do that? That's cheating. And they look at you and say, it's not really cheating because I didn't like the person. And you can't do it, so I found it somewhere else. I think we can be together if you let me just do this one thing. And you say, okay. You let them sleep with other people, and they come back to you, and they're loving, they're caring. They pay for all the bills in the house. You finally moved in with them. It's been 6 months. Long, long time to you. So fast to everybody else, but you feel like it's been a while. You feel like you can actually relate to this person. And they bring over random people, random girls. And you know they don't mean anything to them, but then you start seeing the same girl over and over again. You start seeing the same one person over and over again. They start talking to you less and less and less and less. And you're confused. And you say to yourself, oh, well, I guess I should talk to him. Hey, I've been noticing you've been seeing Ribrianne just more than all the other girls. What's going on? Oh, yeah, she's pretty consistent. I think she should just be my actual person. So now you're asexual in an open relationship, and you're not getting the attention you need for a romantic relationship because you need somebody romantic. You need somebody still there, and they're just there sparingly, not really a part of any conversation, not really a part of any of the real conversations. And you don't feel like a person anymore, and you feel like you're never going to be loved, and you feel like nobody can deeply understand who you are and what you are. And you feel like something's wrong with you. Maybe you reached a point in your life where you decided, I just need animals. Oh, I just need cats, dogs, fine. I have Mr. Fluffers. I have Steven. I have Mr. Whiskers. I have Ambrosia, my cat. I have my dog. I have little Fido. I have Copernicus. I have these people. I have these little animals, and they're fine enough for me. And so one day, when you're cuddling your dog in bed and wiping out the hairs from your clothes, or maybe you're feeding your cat and rubbing its stomach, you think to yourself, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody else to enjoy this cat with? Wouldn't it be nice to have a conversation, because the cats don't respond besides meows? They speak, they're loud. Maybe it will be more to have these things, and you don't know what to do. And you feel like you're a psychopath because you think that everybody else around you is seeing something that you're not. This is what it means to be asexual, and it's depressing. I recall a moment I had with one of my previous partners, and this is very personal to me, deeply caught me off guard. I remember when we were in the midst of passion, we were interlocked, our bodies fluid exchanging, me kissing on their neck, rubbing them down with coconut oil in order to get that essence and that smoothness so we could slip and slide on each other's bodies, water going coalescing, me going down, outlining down their chakra points, kissing each part, going down to their chest receptacles, going down through their memories, kissing their stomach, going down their belly button, on the sides of their thighs, gripping them, showing them I love them. They looked me deep in the eyes and said, I love you. Now this was a big moment because the entire 3-month course that we had been exchanging fluids with one another, they had never said that. As a matter of fact, I was hoping they'd say it outside of the bedroom activities to make it mean something, to make it hold more weight. Because saying it while I'm in the midst of being inside of you, it doesn't mean much to me. It doesn't mean anything. You know what it means to me? It means nothing. Nothing. It is a death threat from a pacifist. It's nothing. It means zilch, squilch, nada. And I looked at her back and I said, I love you too. And I had said it before already. It didn't have as much impact. But because I was deeply coalesced, my phallic member inside of her ovarian caves, coalescing, thrusting, twisting to and fro inside of her, scissoring almost, as the way lesbians do, she felt it meant more, and that interlocked her. I told her how much I loved her in the midst of it, reaffirming her, reassuring her, holding her deeply, closer, missionary, doggy, every other position scissoring, riding, locked eyes, never breaking eye contact, even behind, kissing her, making sure she felt loved, safe, and protected. And in the midst of all that, in the midst of it all, I felt good because she felt good. I didn't enjoy the actual act of it. I didn't enjoy being inside, doing this, doing all this nonsense. I didn't enjoy any of it. And she looked at me and said, "Oh, you must really love me." Did all my other actions mean nothing? Did my gift giving, did my physical touch, did me showing you my favorite movie, did me showing you my favorite playlist, did all those things mean nothing? Did me buying you that specific candle because it reminded me of you, not by smell, by virtue of the aura of the candle? It was Dragon's Moon Blood. I found it at a crystal shop. Did that mean nothing to you? Did all these other actions not prove my love? Is the only way you know how to express love through physical intimacy? I think there's a problem with people that happens where they feel like the only way that they can express love in a true and intimate way is through the bedroom. Sometimes people will have somebody that is very bad for them, somebody that is wholly narcissistic, evil, somebody that is ruinous to their entire mind state, somebody that makes them feel like garbage and trash, somebody that deeply is not cohesive or conducive for their entire lifeblood, somebody they shouldn't have had a kid with, somebody they shouldn't have moved in with, somebody that is not listening to them, somebody that doesn't love them the way they need to be loved. And that happens so often, so often. And people settle. They settle all the time. They settle their bets and they settle their debts. And they decide, I guess I'll deal with it. I guess this is what I'll have to deal with. And they feel like the only time where they can actually get full attention from their partner, away from the video game, away from Apex Legends, away from League of Legends, away from their friends, away from football, away from basketball, away from gambling, away from the alcohol, is when they're both booty ball but naked, in the sheets, in those comforters that don't get washed because he says he doesn't want to wash them, despite the fact that you both work and you're more tired than him because you work more hours. Despite that fact, the only time you feel like you have their full attention is that. So you view it higher because you get their full attention while it's happening. And you view intimacy with them as the greatest thing because they're paying attention to you. Not because you actually like the action. It's just because they're paying attention to you. And so now, intimacy, sex, is the only thing you crave from that person. It's the only thing you want. It's the only thing that makes any sense anymore. And you feel as though nobody else can provide this to you, and you Stockholm syndrome yourself into believing that this is all that matters, and this is the most important thing, and I'll be fine as long as I keep this up for a little bit longer, and I'll be fine, and I'll be fine, and I promise I'll be fine, and I promise I'll be fine. I gotta do this for the kids. I gotta do this because I don't have anywhere else to live. I gotta do this because I'm sure he loves me. He can get better. I just gotta decide to deal with him. He will get better. She will get better. I'm sure she won't leave and go with her friends. I'm sure she won't hang out with her boy best friend. I'm sure I'm just being insecure. I'm sure of these things. And so you decide to delude yourself into this illusion, this deep illusion that you are actively the problem. So you doubt yourself. Maybe I'm being manipulative. Maybe that's my issue. And you begin to hate the idea of intimacy. You begin to say, oh, I hate all men, or all women are the same. And these worthless, stupid statements that mean nothing in the grand scheme of things, said out of anger, bore out of ignorance. They mean nothing in the real world because they are a tribute to nothing. There are millions of people. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of connections you could possibly make with the millions of people. There's an infinite number of things. You don't have enough life in you to have all these connections. And you have decided because of one bad experience that you yourself are now going to recluse yourself and be an isolate. You're going to isolate yourself inside of your small little igloo, you Inuits. I am sorry that you have decided to do that. It is so sad. And that turns people asexual as well. and you feel like a psychopath because you express to the new people after you finally decide to leave that horrible, evil, toxic, mentally draining relationship. You say, I'm sorry, can I get to know you first? And they say, well, what if we're not compatible sexually? And you say, we can learn to be compatible sexually. Just, I need a moment. Give it a month. Give it a week. And they, because they have everything be born instant gratification, this Subway server mentality, decide to leave you, ghost you, because you yourself have decided, oh, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And they say, well, since you don't want to do it, I'll find it somewhere else. Hopefully you can find somebody like that. And they don't have the courtesy to even tell you that they're ghosting you. The courtesy to tell you that they've grown sick of you. The courtesy to do these things. They don't have the courtesy to be a person to you when you've been a person to them, and express why you don't like that. Establishing healthy boundaries, and you feel like you're a villain for setting healthy boundaries. You are not a villain for setting healthy boundaries. The asexual dilemma is setting those boundaries, living within those boundaries, and people being mad about those boundaries. And maybe you're demisexual and you express that, and that's a bad thing too. Maybe you're aromantic and nobody knows what that means. And nobody knows what that means. And you feel like you're vying for people's attention, trying to be understood when you've been misunderstood your entire life. So you decide you're over-explaining all the time, so you don't explain because you don't want to over-explain until you find somebody you feel safe around. You find somebody you feel safe around. And then it gets bad. And all these fake people, all these fake asexuals, all these people that say they can actually understand you until it actually comes down to actually understand you. And how can you hold your ground when everybody's trying to bury you beneath it? How can you do that? And I want to tell you that this is all just debris. You're sculpting yourself like SpongeBob sculpted in that episode with Squidward in the art museum, in the art school. You're sculpting yourself, and you're wiping off and priming the dust ever so slightly. And all the stuff that you shave off of yourself each moment, it isn't pieces you lose of yourself, it's pieces to make you better. And this is all just debris left over when you finally decide to make yourself resolute, because what you stand for is what you'll inform others of what you stand against. And if you are asexual, my friend, if you are experiencing the dilemma that I have now caught myself in with other people, where I tell them that deeply and intimately I do not wish to use them for their bodies, and they themselves feel like their bodies are the only way that I can actually get attention from them, and they send me pictures of their promiscuous parts, their no-no squares, and I say, thank you, I appreciate it. And you're getting it all the time. And people love you only for your body and not for your spirit or your soul. And you want people to understand who you are and how you function. And you're never getting that from not a single person. I'm here to tell you that you are seen. You are heard. And I love you. And you're not crazy. And you're not a psychopath. You're somebody like everybody else on this planet. Everybody needs to be loved. Humans are a very social kind. The rampage of rhinoceroses, the parliament of owls, the murder of crows, all grouped together because they rely on each other. The smack of jellyfish even, despite the fact that they're basically just a nervous system, still rely on each other in coalition and in groups and community. It's the reason why Christians love going to church to talk to each other every Sunday. It's the reason why people in the cults may not join the cults because they actually believe in the cult, but because they finally have somebody to talk to. Even flat earthers have this mentality. It's all the same. Whether you're a part of the furry community, whether you yourself are a part of a member of Germany's darkest part of history, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We all crave community. We're very social. We love talking to each other. It's our favorite thing. Even parasocially right now, with you speaking to me through your screen, watching me intimately, locking eyes with me, hopefully. I love you. And we're speaking. We crave it. Even if you are not sexual, even if some trauma made you this way, even if something inside your soul told you deeply that you've decided that the human form is disgusting, even if you found one person that you actually do want to be intimate with and sexual with, and everybody else has disgusted you, maybe part demi, part ace, it's okay. You are not invalid in your reasoning in your life. There are people that will constantly tell you, oh, you didn't sleep with me, so I can sleep with other people. There are people that will try to open up the relationship. There are people that will tell you to become poly instead. It'll be easier for you. There are people that tell you that you cannot be in a monogamous relationship. There are people that will tell you endlessly, over and over again, that you yourself don't deserve it. Don't deserve the love because you don't want to give out and put out. And there's so many other options besides you. And you are not unique and you are not special. They will tell you that all the time. But I want to tell you, by virtue of you existing right now, you are unique. You are special. And you matter more than anybody else in your life, because you have to put yourself first. If you keep putting others first and trying to help people without putting yourself first, you're going to give all your energy to everybody else. You're going to give every piece of yourself all away. And you won't even have enough space to wipe the debris that you tried to cultivate in yourself. And it will be no sculpture. It will be trash. It will be trash. It will be trash. It will be a mask you put on to delude yourself about who you really want to be. And that's disgusting to me. You disgust me. Why are you lying to yourself? At what point did you decide that it's okay to lie? To me, I told you I loved you. And I've never even met you. I've never even seen you. I don't have the illusion of your physical body. I love you because you exist. This is not transactional. It's not conditional. This is unconditional love in the purest form. You've decided to watch the video this far. So you've helped me. You've helped me know that I matter. And because you helped me know that I matter, I love you. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough to want to do better for us? Isn't that enough? I hope it is. I really do. And I know you decided that I need to be hypersexual for people to love me, despite the fact that you hate the idea of even getting naked with another person. I know you've decided this inside of your mind. And I know how deeply you want to reel it back in. And you think that, oh, in order for them to love me, in order for them to be even next to me, to think I'm worth their time, I have to show them my good body. You don't. And I want you to think about this for a moment. I want you to think. I want you to think, if you know that you are worth it, I want you to think of every time you have belittled or diminished a small aspect of who you are for another person, and how much that ruined your mind, and how deeply you cried in the shower, and how much you've listened to those sad songs, and how much you still had to clock in and go to work, and you had to look at those customers in the eyes, and they didn't know what was going on, and they've complained to you, and all those things piled up, and now you're stressed, and you're just hoping to go back home to your cats, or back home to that worthless drivel of doom scrolling that makes you feel nothing. You're not being introspective. You're not being a person. You're not being here. And I want you to be here for a moment with me. I want you to be here and exist. If you are asexual, if you don't find love in the correct way, if you feel like you are lost, same as me, trying to get through this each moment of every day, trying to feel like a person when everybody else just wants to feel you out and feel the insides of you, if you want to be that person, I love you. I love you. I love you. I really do. And I know it may not mean anything coming from me. And I know it may mean more coming from the person you're looking for. And I know how deeply you want to hear that from them outside of the bedroom. And I know how much you crave their attention, or at least want to go to a picnic, or at least go hiking, or at least draw with them, or read a book with them, or just be held without anything else other than to know that they're there and present, to feel their heartbeat, to feel their lips, and them not want more from that. Them just to enjoy your presence. To know that you don't have to give up a piece of yourself or a piece of your body. To know that your entire life you've given up a piece of your body to other people. I want you to know that I'm here with you. And I'm sick of giving up pieces of my body to people that wouldn't give a damn if I died. This is the asexual dilemma. This is the problem. I'm sorry. Thank you for existing.